Today we talk about professionalism in CoD Esports. Does it actually exist? Is it actually a thing? And could it possibly happen later on down the line? That's the topic for today. Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to yet again another video. And like I said, today we are going to be talking about professionalism in CoD Esports. Does it exist? You tell me. I don't know anymore. I honestly don't know, to be honest, for a portion. Now, keep in mind, this video is going to be talking about a specific incident that recently happened, and the, what kind of comes from having professionalism in esports, or in sports in general, because, in regular sports, you have to act professional. If not, you can be fined tens of thousands of dollars. Of course, they get paid, like, millions of dollars each year, but still, there's at least a penalty to acting childish and to not be acting professionalism in a professional sport. But if you're a professional player, it's like you need to be acting professional in some sort of way. So we're really talking about a specific incident that happened for me today, probably a couple days ago for you guys when this video goes up, and that is going to be talking about Citadel. A lot of people probably don't know who they are. They're actually an Australian Call of Duty team who is actually going to be competing at Worlds. They're the only Australian team who will be at that event. At least I believe in the group stages. They're already guaranteed group stages because they did qualify. I think actually one team dropped out and they kind of filled in for their spot. That's not really important. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys actually what happened on screen. If you did miss it, like, Twitter completely blew up, which I'm kind of glad it did, to be honest. Like, I'm glad people took this seriously. But we'll be talking about a bunch of other stuff included. But this was just a major incident, and I was wanting to make this video for a long time. I'm going to be kind of combining two different videos for this, so we'll see how it goes. So yesterday this actually happened. Like I said, Citadel, one of the co-owners, I believe, of Citadel Gaming, tweeted this out, and it said, unfortunately, Citadel_Dismal is currently in the hospital receiving to a gunshot wound. I don't know, not the best word-wise, but it says we will keep you posted, and then later on, I'm sorry to everybody, this is what happens when you stay logged in on your PC in a team house. So you might be curious, what exactly does this mean? So the tweet, the guy Dismal didn't actually get shot. It was a joke. I don't know about you, but in a real life setting, so I'm gonna kind of compare this to regular sports. I'm not going to give it an example, to say the least, but just imagine if an NBA player, an NFL player, a football player, American or in the others, like the other side of the country, imagine if they had a team owner tweet out that their player had been shot, and then he says, oh, one of the players got a hold of my phone or got a hold of, the network, and it was a joke. It's a joke, guys. It's really funny, right? They would probably be kicked out of whatever league that they're in, depending on what would go on. They would be fined millions of dollars for that, and automatically that player's career, if it was him or the player that did it, would be ruined, because that is not something that you joke about. Someone getting shot is not funny at all. Now, there's something that you can take into consideration. Team drops and team changes, people will joke about that all the time. While that is serious, it's not nearly as serious as this. This is incredibly not at all okay. Like, I don't know the person who tweeted this out or anything like that, but this is not okay. Like, in what world is pretending to making a joke about someone being killed or shot, not necessarily killed, but being shot, a joke? A lot of people thought that they were already in New Orleans because they are traveling from Australia to New Orleans, and players were like, I don't even know if I want to go to this event if pro players are being shot, like if they're actually being shot at, or actually, if someone's life is being threatened, I don't want to go to this event. Honestly, I was like, do I even need to go to this event to be real? Like, I don't want to, risk my life to be going to this event. I saw a lot of, I think I even saw Reedy, a very well-known European player, talk about, I'm gonna, like, this is gonna got me a little bit nervous. People were talking about bringing, being on guard while this was happening. That was all in like 10 minutes, and then Citadel Dismal actually kind of tweeted out and said sorry, that this is what happened. And they also made a tweet logger, which I'm going to read. This is actually an official kind of tweet or statement coming from Citadel Gaming, which it made me feel a little bit better. It reads, earlier today we made a tweet describing a player from the team being shot. Firstly, this was from Twisty's account, but it was not Twisty's tweeting it. Twisty tweeting it. There we go. That's kind of a mouthful. It was a player from the team. It was an incredibly stupid thing to publish and was in terrible taste. Given the country's strong emotions in relation to gun violence, it was obviously a terrible era of judgment. The issue is not a laughing matter, and that is no more apparent than ever. The Citadel staff and players deeply apologize to everyone for the incident. This should have never happened. I completely agree, Citadel. This should have never happened, it's like you just cannot do that. And, you know, when we are trying to grow for Black Ops 3, you know, we're trying to do a bunch of different stuff. We want to make things happen and, you know, get other esports, get other organizations involved. This is the exact opposite of what you want to do. Now, I hate comparing us to other esports because of the actual game. Now, I have no problem at all comparing Call of Duty with other esports in regards to professionalism, because there is a major gap that we do suffer with because, obviously, of the age gap, which will be coming into play for the World League. You know, 18 plus, we've talked about that, the highs, the lows, the problems, and the positives, and this is one of the positives. You know, you're 18, you're older, and people will, you know, based on your age, you'll think, oh, well, no, you know, players who are 18 and older, it doesn't really matter, and honestly, you're going to be a little bit more mature. Like, for a majority of the audience, people who are over the age of 18 sometimes, and should be, more, you know, more professional or more, you know, experienced in the light of things rather than someone who's younger. And granted, a lot of the young players, Hook included, is not at all immature, so it's kind of like back and forth. You can kind of argue either way. And this kind of expands to a video that I wanted to make. It was, you know, can other esports, or not other esports, but can other esport organizations join Call of Duty? That was the video that I was thinking about making, but this is kind of a perfect opportunity because things like this are what other organizations are always looking at. I believe one of the people, one of the main guys from Cloud9 was at UMG Cali. He was watching, he was really interested. For those who don't know, Cloud9, a very well-known organization in many different titles, League of Legends, CSGO, etc. They're a very well-known organization, and if they saw this, and if they saw that that was a normal thing, I would be completely turned off. If CSGO was in the same position, and I hate comparing us to CSGO, but I have to do it, if CSGO would have had this same problem, and someone does something like that, and, you know, it's looked upon, I'm immediately taking a little bit of a backdraw, saying, should I actually invest in someone, in a company who is so unorganized, and a company who is so unprofessionalized? And granted, there are some great professional people out there. I totally understand that. But, you know, it always seems that the negatives outweigh the positives, and you cannot have people doing stuff like this at all. That this cannot continue to happen. And if we want, you know, the C9s, the CLGs, the Team Liquids, the TSM, Fnatic, NiP, Navi, you can name any team that you want to, if we want to have them involved, make the Call of Duty esports grow, this cannot happen. We can't be tweeting out about roster changes. Things have to be taken in a more professional light, which I hope that Black Ops 3 kind of, you know, takes a drawing with. You know, in different communities and stuff, they have different guidelines, and, you know, organizations have, if you tweet out unprofessional things, if you're tweeting out whatever it is, you know, you can be fined or even be kicked off the team. You know, there's something in players' contracts in other esports that I've seen that say if you act unprofessional to a point which we can decide on, you're off the team. Like, you're no longer on our team, whether you're good or not. You know, we don't want to have our sponsors, have our organization be shut down because of something that you thought was funny. Now, this has been a very serious rant, and I do apologize for that, but, you know, these things have to be taken in a serious manner. I'm not going to joke about it and say, oh, you know, and, you know, edit a bunch of different stuff. Now, this is a serious video because it's really, like, we have to dig into this type of stuff and realize this could be some of the things that are holding us back. And, you know, we say, how do we want COD to grow? Well, the two main things that I've always heard are we want to have developer support. Guess what? We have that this year. And professionalism. Guess what? We need that this year. We have to have professionalism this year if we want it to even start to grow, because, you know, Treyarch and whatnot are going to look at these things, and I'm not just hating on Citadel, because many people have done the exact same thing, not to this extent that I know of personally, but I'm sure stuff has happened, and, you know, we cannot have things like this going on. And talking about other organizations as well that have left the Call of Duty scene. You know, we've seen teams leave and teams come back, but two in particular that I'm always thinking of who are actually kind of close with each other are EG and Cole. You know, EG now has a very successful Dota team. They end up winning the International 5, or the TI 5, for instance, for Dota 2, for those who don't know. And, you know how much money they won? They won over $18 million, and their 5 players divided up amongst themselves $1.5 million. One player got awarded $1.5 million. Oh, actually 5 of them really did. And then so on and so forth. You know, we have big organizations who have, you know, got involved with Call of Duty and then have immediately stepped out. Cole, for instance, you know, they did get bought out by EG, but, you know, there's so many other teams who are interested but have kind of realized what the Call of Duty scene is like and then stepped back out. And professionalism is one of the main things that they look at. You know, if you want, like I said, like the teams that I've mentioned, to kind of get involved with esports, you know, you have to have, it's like showing your house to someone if you want to sell it. You can't have everything like just laid out. You have to decorate it. You have to make it look nice. And don't lie to them. Like, don't actually, like, hide all your clothes in the closet, or hide all the whatever you have. But you have to present it in a positive way and not have, for instance, your dirty laundry just lying out everywhere. In the organizations that we have in the game today, probably many of you probably don't even know some of the teams that they do have. A lot of you probably do. But for instance, like Elevate, they have a CSGO, World of Tanks, and a Smite team. Envy has a CSGO team, and I recently have acquired a Smite team. OG has a Halo squad, Denial has a League of Legends, a Smite, a CSGO, and a Halo team. Like, there is so, that was just a couple of them. I'm sure there's many more, and these teams probably have, or these organizations probably have a couple more teams and whatnot. But, we have other organizations who are involved in other esports, and they'll reference it, and they'll say, Call of Duty is one of the most unprofessional, esports to be in. And we have to change that. We cannot go back whenever we're trying to hold on as it is. And I don't want to say Call of Duty is dying, but whenever you have something like this kind of holding you back and realizing that this is a major deal, and like I said, I'm not just trying to hate on Citadel, it just seemed to be a good opportunity to kind of make a video talking about professionalism and kind of combining, like I said, 2 video ideas that I had and whatnot. And I feel like I make videos better whenever I'm kind of angry, but I do apologize for bringing anyone down. It's just we have to focus on this. Once we get it down, once we can do this, I totally see Call of Duty growing to another extent. And whenever Black Ops 3, obviously Black Ops 3 is coming out in like less than a month now, we have time to get this stuff down. But if we do it correctly, if we do the things and the steps that we need to, we can see Call of Duty on top again, and I'm really looking forward to that, coming soon. So, and to be honest, I've looked at the Call of Duty scene, and I'm obviously, like, I look at myself in the Call of Duty scene, and I say, I have to be professional in a way, and sure, I'll tweet out random stuff here and there, but I try to remain a certain type of professionalism, whether it's casting or whether it's just being a content creator, because of our reputation already. I don't want to come off to someone who's not explored the Call of Duty scene and say, oh wow, that guy's caster, he makes videos about YouTube for esports. Like, why would I want to follow this esports thing when this guy's acting childish? Like, that's my main goal. Not all the time, because I want to be real, but it's also to maintain a certain level of professionalism, even though I'm not necessarily a professional. But I hope that players will look at this and reference this and say, this is something we can't do. I hope at least that we look at this incident as learn from it and move on, rather than, oh, that's a funny idea, let's do that too. Like, I want it to be looked at as an example of what not to do, and move forward with it. So guys, I do apologize for this rant, but I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit, let you guys know about what's going on, and talk about why other esports might be getting involved and why they might not be getting involved due to some certain things that are kind of happening in the Call of Duty scene. So I do apologize for that, but guys, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think that these teams would be involved, and is it a possibility that we could see some of these organizations find Call of Duty if professionalism is a thing? I don't want to be hating on Citadel in the comments, because it was a player from the organization, it wasn't the organization as themselves. So I don't want any hate for them in the comments. I'll probably delete any comments if there are any, because I don't want to send negative feedback to them. I just want us to learn from mistakes that they've had and whatnot. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, and until next time, peace out.